Hey, Steve Stine here. I've had a lot of requests for this song. It's called Say Something by a band called A Great Big World. It's a really easy song to play. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some different ideas of how you could approach this song, to make it comfortable for you and get the kind of dynamic that you're looking for from this. It's a pretty mellow tune. So basically, the entire song is going to be built off of 4 or 5 chords, and really just 2 sections to the entire song. So the very beginning of the song starts with a B minor chord. Now I'm playing a B minor bar chord, which is at the 2nd fret of the 5th string. So I'm barring over the bottom 5 strings and then making an A minor chord with these other fingers. Okay. If you know the regular B minor, that's okay too, if you just know that one. But I'm moving from B minor to G, and then to D, and then to A. Now, the difference from what I'm doing is instead of just playing an A, I'm playing what's called an A sus4, which means I'm pressing on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. And the reason I'm doing that is it consistently gives me this pitch right here, which is a D note. So it's in the B minor chord, it's in the G chord, because I'm using a 4-finger G right here. So I'm getting that note right there. And then D, it's of course in there. And then the A, what I do, and I'm going to show you the fingers that I use here, but that way I've got that pitch all the way through, because if you're familiar with this song, the song actually starts with just this sound, and then it moves into the song, whether or not we're going to use our fingers or strumming, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So you've got B minor, okay, and this is really the last note that we want to hear. If we go and we hear that 1st string, it kind of kills the importance of that D note right here. So what I do is when I play, I just avoid that 1st string or deaden it out or whatever it is you want to do. So the last note that you hear is that D. And then I go to a 4-finger G. But again, I'm not looking for this note right here, the 3rd fret of the 1st string. I'm not looking for that G. I don't want that. I want this. So you'll notice when I make G, what I'm doing is I'm not even using my pinky. I'm just deadening out that 1st string, so I'm avoiding it entirely. And then a lot of times what I'll do is I won't even use my 1st finger. I'll deaden out the 5th string by taking my 1st finger off. Now, you don't have to do that. It's perfectly fine to leave your 1st finger on there. It's just sometimes I'll leave it off, and then I'll deaden out that 5th string with the flesh of my middle finger. So I'm going from B minor up to my G, and then again, you'll notice I just have those 2 fingers on there. Okay, so you could add that 1st finger onto the 5th fret of the 5th string. It'd be just fine. It'll sound just fine. And for that matter, I mean, obviously you can play these any way you want. If you want to strum the whole thing, it's going to sound just great. I'm just showing you how I play this. So I'm moving from here over to here, and then I move to my D. Now again, that 1st string is in there. I'm just not using it. And then I go to my A. Now I'm going to go to my A with my 1st finger barring over the 4th and 3rd strings, and then I'm going to leave my ring finger there from the D chord. Okay, you could go there with 2 different fingers if you wanted to, and that would be okay. Okay, but that way what I'm trying to sell with the beginning of this song is the sound of that D. So what I start off doing is just kind of picking. So I'm using 3 fingers to pick. I'm using my thumb for my bass note, and then my 1st and 2nd fingers on the 2nd and 3rd string. So I'm going. Okay, and I could do all kinds of cool stuff with picking. You can do all kinds of neat things like that too, but let me just kind of show you how to get started with this. So I've got my 1st finger on the 5th string of this B minor, and then my other 2 fingers on the 2nd and 3rd strings, so I'm plucking them together. And then I'm just plucking these 2 alone, okay? And that's where if you use a regular B minor like this, it's not going to sound quite correct because you don't have that bass note up there. So you'd have to do something where you maybe play these 3 strings here, and then your G. And the point is to have some fun, right? So, but go with what you're capable of doing, the knowledge that you have of your guitar, and then just kind of edit from there. So let me kind of play through this for you here. Now, if I perform this song with another singer, and it's just me and a singer playing, sometimes I'll start adding in some more embellishment with finger picking. I might, as the song progresses, and I'm not really playing any particular pattern. I'm just sort of flowing toward the floor, and then back up again. So I'm going down. There's all single notes. You know, you could do something like that. Now this song is in 3, so you're going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. So that's the kind of feel that you're giving it when you play. When the song starts, it's very spatial though. There's not a lot of like, you know, you're not doing all that sort of thing. There's not a lot of anything going on. Just quietly. But if you feel like giving a little bit more, you certainly could, okay? Now, let's take a look at the guitar pick, and then you can kind of figure this out from there, what you like most, and then we'll look at the verse section as well. So now, if I had a pick that I was going to strum, so my rhythm, still the 3 feel. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So you'll see my rhythm is kind of doing a dun da 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 dun da 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 dun da 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 dun da da. Although I wouldn't, you know, consistently do that same strum through the entire song because it probably would get kind of boring. So I try and change it up a little bit. So always remember, no matter what song that you're learning, especially if you're dealing with an acoustic guitar, but it certainly works on electric as well, is that with rhythm, you always have 2 dynamic elements that you can make varieties of. You can strum it differently by hitting and missing different things at different times, and you can always strum harder or softer at different times. You know, it's the problem is when you start strumming something and it's all just kind of one-dimensional, it loses a sense of feel and of groove and all that sort of thing. So always be aware of the fact of those 2 elements, of being able to strum a little more or a little less, depending on what the song is in need of. Certainly if I'm playing with a singer, if that singer is backing off with his or her volume, I'm going to back off too. I don't want to, you know, step all over them. And the other part is if the song sounds like it needs more, then that's when I'll start building a little bit more. So in the beginning of this, I'm going to keep it kind of mellow. You'll notice I'm deadening out that first string the whole time. And I'm also just avoiding it with my pick. So I can get a little heavier if I want to. Okay, a third thing that I could do is I can start accenting in different places as well. See, and I can build on those 3 different things of, you know, strumming in different places and playing louder or softer, or even just accenting in different places. So the pick is completely legitimate. I've played this song many times with a guitar pick. And sometimes when I use my fingers and I play, then when I want to strum, instead of grabbing a guitar pick, I just strum like I have a guitar pick. I can go back if I want to get really mellow again. I can go right back to that. So whatever's comfortable for you. Okay, so then the verse of this song, you're going to go from D to F sharp minor, and I'll give you a couple of options for that. Okay, so I'm going from D up to F sharp major would not work. So you got to make sure that you take that middle finger off the guitar and you get that minor sound. I'm at the 2nd fret, pushing on all 6 strings. And and then I'm making the E minor chord with my other two fingers. So that would be an F sharp minor bar chord. If that's really hard for you to do, there are a couple of other options that you have. You could do this and it still sounds pretty cool. You could do D, then you go to F sharp in the bass of the D. It doesn't sound as dynamic because you're still stuck on that D chord, but it works if the F sharp minor is really tough for you. If you can play the F sharp minor, that's absolutely what I would do. Okay, so I'm going from D up to the F sharp minor right here to G. I'm using a 4-finger G, and I'm strumming the first string now, D, because this is a different part. And then I go to A. Now, when I go to the A right there, I can again choose whether I just want to use a plain A, or maybe I want to use that A major 7, or excuse me, A sus 4. I might do something like that. So again, the more you play and the more you learn about, playing songs and things like that, you don't have to feel bad that you're doing something that's a little bit different than the song does. You want to play whatever's most comfortable for you, that you can remember real easy, and sounds good. I don't have a problem playing A sometimes and then playing A sus 4 sometimes. I think either one is fine. It's just in the very beginning of the song, I really like the sus 4 sound to keep that consistency of that D pitch. Because if you listen to the piano part, it most certainly is in there. So if I had to choose between playing a regular A and an A sus 4, I would absolutely choose the A sus 4. But what I'm saying is if while you're playing the song, you would happen to go to the A, don't sweat it. It's not a big deal at all. So those are the only two parts that you really need to worry about with this song. And then the other element is how do you want to pick it or strum it? And again, this song kind of builds. It gets really dynamic in the middle, so you'd really want to be hammering in the middle, and then boom, it comes out at the very end. And you'd bring it back down again. So a really fun song to play and really not that difficult to do, but it does give you the availability of looking at different ways of playing some chords, and it most certainly gives you some expressiveness with the way you want to strum and make rhythm and fill space. Sometimes you want to leave it real blank, and sometimes you really want to fill that with a lot of strumming. So have fun with this song. Make sure you get a hold of me. You can click on the link below and request a song. I'd be more than happy to try and get to it as soon as I possibly can. So have a great day.